Straight ahead up that hill there is Hampstead itself. Is that Keats Grove? Downshire Hill. Very bit soulless though, I think, Hampstead really. Some amazing houses. Does in some ways parts of Hampstead, particularly those near the Heath, do remind me of kind of Los Angeles in a sense, because Los Angeles, for those of you who know it or don't know it, is this weird kind of combination of the incredibly urban, you know, the most modern city in the world in some ways, and of course, but it's got kind of desert and canyons in the middle of it. There's this weird kind of mixture of, wild, I mean, genuine wildness. Mountains, desert, and super urban, and Hampstead's a bit like that in parts really. And also of course Hollywood, particularly Los Angeles, is incredibly well groomed by all the South American slave labour, so, and similarly Hampstead's a bit like that. So it's like the streets are so crowded and yet nothing's open really. That's the I'm going to try and find a route here that is all downhill. I've had enough of going uphill. Alistair Campbell, the terrible Alistair Campbell, used to live in one, or still lives in one of these roads. You can feel that there are birds. You get closer to his house, and birds drop out the sky, dead. Taps run with blood in the houses next to him. That sort of thing. Nice enough houses, very pleasant, fairly moderately pleasant area. Sort of Kentish Town. Used to be, you could drive along here all the way, but now it's cars are forbidden, as is the way with many parts of London. One of the thrills of my life has always been going through a door marked authorised personnel only when I am authorised, when I've got a pass for something, I'm doing a job and it's authorised. That's me, authorised personnel. And so being a cyclist now is a bit like that, isn't it? Cyclist, you can go where no motor vehicle is allowed to go. You are authorised. You are sainted. You are the new something or other. That ran out of steam, didn't it? That improvisation squittered to an end. Michael Palin lives around here. I'm sorry about that. Well, we didn't see Christopher Eccleston as well. Maybe we were still seeing him. Mate. He probably runs from one North London park to another, so might still be a bit chance. Some terrible. This might be tricky. Actually, let's do a bike-only thing and cut round this terrible traffic jam because Thank you. God, it's a pain in the arse. I mean, even though we're on a bike, it's a pain in the arse riding through traffic along a narrow road like that. That is so clogged up, really. So I think there's a shortcut, or there's a way through this way. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, well, there's kind of vast estates. London specialises in really miles and miles of well kept what was council property. Very pleasant, really. Friendly neighbours saying hello to each other. DVD van backing up the road at great speed. You get one of those, how's my driving? Dial his number, because you can say, well, he was driving fine, but it was just backwards. Because the other thing I could do is to fake and I could probably, is actually film this and then pretend I'm cycling, do it in post-production, so that my breath is not strained, and also have research material handy, beside me. I could consult, so I could say, this is a railway bridge and the London to Shanghai railway. Built by Thomas Telford in 1789. And you'd think I was a Superman, wouldn't you? You'd think, wow, his breath is just going up those hills, but he's not at all strained, and he knows so much. He knows so much. He's so well informed about he's a regular Will Self, how much he knows. But I wouldn't do that to you, because I'm honest. I'm your friend. You wouldn't, if you found out, you'd become disillusioned with me. And I feel in this current climate like I represent the left, really, don't I? And if I'm seen to be a fraud, then all is lost, really. It's only me. Where the hell am I? Oh yeah. Going through a bit of a red light there, but used to be a carpet land there straight ahead. The building's gone now. That's the kind of stuff you see. You don't get that from Lucy Worsley, would you? The existence of there used to be a Nissan Cube painted pink. You can get that from Simon Sharma. There's a very good Middle Eastern supermarket here called Phoenicia. Up Kentish Town Road there. Seems to be doing okay. I worry because there's a Lidl opened opposite. I think they're doing okay. I don't know whether it's open. Might be open, I suppose. In tier 4. This is the sort of southern end of Kentish Town High Street. Again, there's a lot of people wandering about. Bit of a bike lane here, taking full advantage. Comes to an abrupt end, of course, ejecting you into the traffic, as many bike lanes do, ill planned and ill thought out and unjoined up as they are. Ambulance. I think that's the national anthem of Kentish Town. Siren. Oh, still got his. Let's turn the siren off, which was losing. Oh no, he's back. Oh, two ambulances. Oh, that one's going right. That's dramatic. Two people's Christmas is ruined. This is Camden Road we're crossing over. So I was overtaken there at that junction by somebody on those Uber bikes. I didn't wish them ill. Now in a little while, actually, coming down this road, we will pass something that Linda said was the biggest disappointment of her life. There's a building here called it's a bit further down really, so I'm a bit premature with this. But there's a building down here called the Red Lobster building. And I remember, because I cycled past it, walked past it, I drove past it a lot, and I said, tell Linda about this Red Lobster building. And I was really taken with it for some reason. I told her. And so one day we got in the car and I drove Linda to the Red Lobster building, and she I got it into her head really that it was a building in the shape of a lobster. There was a giant red lobster for a building, and it's not, it's just a sort of banal, sort of slightly reddish office block that they've tried to jazz up by calling it the Red Lobster building. And so it was a tremendous anticlimax for her, and she's tremendously disappointed really, and she mentions it frequently. But I've also kind of fucked that up by not. I should have gone over the canal. Should have done it closer to the disappointing building really. That's it, ahead there, you can see that sort of, it's not even red really, is it? It's sort of brown. So I suppose, I don't know why I thought it was good really. It's terribly disappointing. I don't even know if it's still called the Red Lobster building. They've got, I think it's gone. Well, that's a good old yarn, isn't it? That's a good story. That's why you tune into this. You can't get that. So that's an anecdote about a disappointing encounter with a building that's no longer even here. Yeah, you'll not get that from David Starkey. You'll not get that from psychogeographers. Jonathan what's he called? Is he called Aykroyd? Peter Aykroyd. He's not going to tell you about the Red Lobster building, is he? Well, Ian Sinclair. None of them will have great anecdotes about Red Lobster. Yeah, this is that's a bike lane that briefly ejects you into the traffic. That's a cycle lane. Yeah, here's a kind of a so that was a social dilemma, wasn't it? A cycling dilemma, really. That you've got a cyclist in a bike lane, which is very narrow, and he's going slower than you, partly because he's using his phone, and partly because he's wanting to listen to his drill music or whatever it is. So, there was a dilemma there, wasn't there? There was a potential for confrontation. In the end, I dinged my pathetic little bell a couple of times, and he waved me, I think slightly contemptuously, I've got to say, but he waved me on, didn't he? So it all worked out in the end, but it's just one of the problems with bike lanes is that you can get trapped behind somebody slower quite easily. Well, we worked it out, didn't we? I think. If he wasn't. Didn't think much of me. But yeah, it happened. It's sort of sorted. That's the St. Pancras International. St. Pancras International. Not really all romance gone. Barlow's train shed by Barlow, I think. Front, of course, by George Gilbert Scott. Nearly home. Special traffic lights, special bike traffic lights to see us safely over Euston Road. Judge Street recently banned to car, well, blocked off, you can't get onto the Euston Road. If you're in a car, no good reason really. That's when we get to my house. They're going to go through some right leafy shit, which when you think you're in the centre of London is, it's beautiful. So this is quite near my house, and we're going to go through a modern development. John Bishop, Scouse comedian John Bishop, had a house. In fact, still owns a house, I think, but he said his son lives in it now most of the time. Well, of course, as usual, as you understand our pact now, pact of the celebrity, I'm not going to tell you which house it is, because I don't know partly. Look at this. This is 2 minutes from St. Pancras International, where you could hop on a train to Paris. Look how leafy this is. There's all these council blocks or ex-council blocks clad in their ochre-coloured inflammable panelling. Lovely. Now this end of it, because the barrier's short here, you can scoot through this easily enough. But the other end, there's a Somerset Maugham short story about I can't remember the narrator goes to see a woman whose act is that she dives from a high dive board onto into a tiny kind of thing of water, and he knows, the narrator knows that one day, you can see it in her eyes, she knows she's not going to make it, she's going to die. And similarly, this is my tiny pool of water that one day I'm going to ride through this gap without getting off. But now, every time I try and do it, I damage myself terribly on these projecting bolts or on this, whatever this is. But one day, I will ride through it. That's the sort of reverse of the Somerset Maugham story in a way, isn't it? At the moment, so I'm failing to get through it. But one day, I feel that triumphantly, I will. At the moment, John Bishop's son hears my howls of pain every time I go through there. But one day he won't. Alright, nearly home, so I'll probably do for now.